Welcome back to Balin's Corner. I'm Balin, and this is the first video I've made in forever in regards to Yu-Gi-Oh! I hadn't played the game in quite a while. My teammate and partner in the game passed away during COVID, and so I kind of stopped playing for a while, but when Mermail got some love, I had to come back and at least give it a shot. So this is my new deck that I played at locals this week and went 2 for 1. The only loss I had was against Rizal, and that was mostly for misplaying after not playing Yu-Gi-Oh! In over 2 years. So that wasn't too bad. I do have some ideas of where I might go from here to work on the deck a little bit. But the deck, it played well. It really didn't have any issues, and the only reason I lost literally was because of misplays. I should have been 3-0 without an issue. So start out with the starters. Obviously, Netibus, the Prince. I would say the former best card in the deck. It was the best card forever when it came to Mermail since we got it to let us play. But we definitely have a new up and coming best card, I would say. So I have 3 of that, and then 3 Pike. I like the 3 Pike. I know a lot of people are running 2, but I don't mind having it in my hand to start with. I know you run into that situation of having too many normal summons, but there are a couple ways around that, and so having it in my hand to start with can help me a lot of times, especially if they hand trap me and stop me from getting it another way on the field. I do have some tricks to be able to pull it out, so I like it at 3. I might go to 2 with when we get our new cards, but I'm pretty happy at 3. My other starter might be a little bit different, but Teus, Mermail Best Teus has always been one of my favorite cards. I think that it does a really good job. It can really start your hand. If you don't have anything but it and one other water, you can start your combos. Not necessarily does it need to be Prince or Pike to get the game rolling. And was at least one match where that's all I had, and I still was able to build a decent board and pull off the victory. So I was very happy with that. Now, some people would probably call this an extender card, but in my opinion, it's both it's a extender and a starter, because this one card can really make the deck start popping, even if you just have it and one other water in your hand to start the game. But the new Abyss Shrine, or Shrine, or however you want to say it, I think it's the new best card in the deck. It makes so many things happen. It lets us get into Deep Sea if you're using that variant. If you're using the Lancia variant, it lets you get into that really easy with the Ran. It's very versatile, and it allowing you to draw a card on your opponent's turn also is a huge help to keep your hand going, because you do use so many cards for your combos. I just think it's probably the best card in the deck currently, in my opinion. And then on to, and of course, those I play 3 of, all of them. I think you have to. They're too good not to play 3 of all those cards. My next one would be my extenders. And of course, I play 3 of the Atlantean Dragoons, one of the best extenders in the game. The fact that it's not once per turn is just amazing and really helps keep the game going. It's almost broken. And it would probably be the best extender if it wasn't for the fact that we got Mermail Abyss Squad now, which probably is our best extender, because it can literally rebuild a board if they've hit you hard and cracked your board. It can build the board, and literally it with even one of your starters is going to get you a board state that's going to be very usable. And so that's a very good card to have, and a very good and it's so easy to play. It's so easy to play it. and it just keeps coming back. Obviously, it is once per turn, but it's still an amazing card, and I do play 3 of it. One card I play 1 of that I find myself using a lot for extender during grind games was Fishborn Harpooner. Fishborg, some people aren't playing it, but it's amazing to be able to pull out with Deep Sea to go into Double Toad. But it also is great to be able to get Deep Sea on the field if you accidentally drew one at the beginning of the game, or if you needed to do something else because you've got a other card in your hand that may be a brick. So it can definitely help you get into a play. And it is very good going first or second, so that definitely helps the deck a lot. My next ones I would call like a soft extender, maybe, just because of the fact that they are a little bit, they can be a little brickish depending on what you have in your hand with them, or what's on your field. But I play 2 of the heavy infantry. I know most people play 1. I love this card. It's probably my favorite card in the deck, because I love being able to just pop those monsters and get them off the field, especially after they build a board and they're like confident, and I after I use up their negates, popping that monster, getting rid of it so that I can OTK. I just absolutely love it, and it's. I know 1 is very usable, but being able to do it multiple times a game, especially with some of the hand traps out there that can really screw with you, it's definitely nice to have 2. I would think at any good time. I'm playing 3 Deep Sea Minstrel right now. I have considered cutting it to 2. I have considered cutting it to 1. And I definitely, when I go second, I side it out. And one reason I've kept it at 3 was because it's very easy to side it out going second, as well as being able to be very versatile going first. And so thinking into the second game, what am I going to side out for what if I need to bring in a certain card or something to combat whoever I'm playing. Having this card in the deck that's very, very easily side-outable is nice to have. Just thinking that far forward of, okay, what am I going to be siding out next for the next round? So that's very helpful. Right now, I'm still playing Armored Shark. I'm not sure about this card. It's fun. It's easy. It does help. It can definitely help go into Double Toad if the strategy's right. But I'm still back and forth on it whether or not I want to keep it. The deck was at 40 cards exactly. I'm probably going to up it to 42 going forward, maybe even 44. But I'm just not sure on this card yet. I'm not convinced yet. If it was level 4, I'd definitely be in love with it. But being level 3, I'm not sure if I want to end up using the Virtue Dragon build. I'm not using it currently, but I'm just not convinced on it. And of course, Ice Jade Ran, I do have that in here. I think it's a very versatile card. No more than 1 is needed. But if they stop your Deep Sea engine for some reason, or you draw Deep Sea and you don't have an ability to get it onto the field, this card can help with that, because it can let you go into into a synchro monster that helps. It can let you go into other plays. Having that token on the field just to be able to have a couple things to do link plays with is very versatile and helpful. So I think it's got more good than bad. I think if I decide to go with the Lancia build later, it'll obviously be a must-have. I'm just not sure yet on where I'm going to go with that. The 2 cards, obviously, that are bricks but are must-have is a Mooling. You have to have Mooling in a Mermail deck. You got to strip those cards. And of course, it's an amazing card to side out for your second game. Even though I will say that the 2 times I sided it out, I kind of wish I hadn't, because I was able to break a board and still have only 5 waters in grave, and I could have summoned it and been able to use it. So I'm kind of back and forth on whether or not I even want to side it out or just keep it in there. And even though I know it's a brick going second in most cases, but there are a few chances where it's not. So it's one of those situations where I need to, you got to feel out your opponent and kind of see where they're going. And of course, Deep Sea King, he's a beast. Double Toad is just amazing. You can't think more than Double Toad on the field at any given time. And I just think any other build is just not going to. The Lancey build's great from what I'm watching online, but it just, the Deep Sea is just, Double Toad is going to just stop them so quickly it's not funny, which is great card to have when you need it. The only spells that I'm running in the deck that are just spells is 1-for-1 because it gets you into Prince. I've actually considered cutting it just because of, I don't know that I wanted to send a monster to the grave just to grab something when most of my monsters are something I can use for an extender or something like that. It is, I think in all reality, I might end up cutting it. It's not bad. Of course, Prince is amazing. Getting the Prince is good, but there's so many ways to get the Prince in the deck, and then to summon Prince that you almost don't need it anymore. I was running the Deep Sea spell card for a while, and it works out good in my old deck, but it's the same thing. Do I want to banish the card just to get out Prince whenever I have so many other plays now? Back before when we didn't have all the extra plays, obviously you needed Prince for everything, but now I'm not so sure that we need to devote a card solely to Prince when we could potentially put something else or keep the hand count, the deck count low, so that it's more easier to get into your other cards. And of course the new Abyss equipped spell card, trying, I don't know how to say it, but it's just an amazing recursion. And it's a great card. It doesn't matter if you draw it. It doesn't matter how you get it. Just having it in your hand and able to play it works. I could definitely see going to 2 with it, just because it could recreate a board or help you create a board if you got your board cracked, or you were having other problems because you drew a brick. It's definitely something to consider. I'm not sure that I want to go up too many cards in the deck, but that if I was going to put another spell in, I think I would definitely go to 2. And then for hand traps, obviously 3 Ash. You got to have 3 Ash in just about everything nowadays. It's an amazing card. And then 3 Ogre. I love Ogre. This format has just been amazing. When I played at locals, I was like, what do I take? And I've seen some people going back on different cards, and being a first time back, I thought, well, I'll go ahead and take Ogre. I know it well. Let's play it off, and it just won the day. 2 different matches. It literally just outperformed itself, and I think that biggest reason I won both of those matches was because that card was in my hand, which was great to have. 3 Imperm. It's just a great card. It's very good. And it's very fun to have. And 1 Called By. It's just a situational card that you have to have. It stinks that it's at 1, but hey, it's at least playable, and it's if you do happen to draw it, it's definitely going to help you against your opponent most of the time. And if not, I do have some cards that can discard it. So, and sometimes you just need something to discard to be able to get a board going. So it's not such a bad idea to do that either if you need to. And then going into my extra deck, I only play the 1 anemone. I flirted with the idea of 2. I kind of wanted to play 2. But with Trian and with Toad, recycling isn't a big issue to get to another one if you need to. And the biggest reason why I considered playing 2 was because I am playing the Zelantis. I think it's a great card. Sometimes it's the only thing that you can use to break their board, and so being able to do it is just a great thing. And I actually did make it twice. I made it twice during the locals this last week, so that was a lot of fun. Mermail, I can't speak more about this card. It's a great card. If you can make it, especially if you can make it with King, which I also play, you're just gonna steamroll your opponent. There's not a whole lot they can do. If you can get both those out on the field, you can get infantry in your hand. There's not a whole lot they're going to be able to pull off. You're not going to be able just to break really easily. Those are the links I play. I don't play Abyss Keeper. I don't, or whatever that card is. I don't see it needed. Deep Sea King is a must. Don't get me wrong. It's great to go double-toed, but the deck has so much versatility and so much ability to grind as well as to OTK. In other ways, you just don't need it. Because it will literally be a brick on the field once you do get it out. It's just not necessary. Especially when we're going to get some new cards soon that'll even be better. Obviously, two-toed, two-shark. It's a mainstay. You have to have it. As long as they keep letting us have both those cards in our format, you need to play them. They're crazy. One Gaios and one Poseidra. I love these cards. I don't make Poseidra half as much now as I thought I would. Is when I was test playing because even with Deep Sea King, it's going to get it out there. So I obviously see myself making Gaios a lot more than I do going into, just because going first to Gaios definitely helps to stop your opponent from doing a whole lot, which is great. Abyss Dweller. Obviously for the Armored Shark build with the Armored Fortress. But of course Abyss Dweller is great in this format too, just to lock your opponent out of his graveyard for a little bit. I think that going forward I'm probably going to cut the Armored Fortress, but in the Armored Shark, but Abyss Dweller will stay because it's just a great card. And then last, the Synchros. I flirted with the White Aura Porpoise. It's not bad. It's very situational, to get to it and play it. And I just don't think this deck needs it. Obviously, if I was playing Schiff, it would definitely be even more versatile to play it. But I don't see that card as being needed really. And so I chose not to play it, and I don't think I'm going to play this card going forward. Dragite, love this card. Absolutely love the fact that it's a negate. It's a great card to get into, and it's especially off of Fishborg, being able to go into it if you need to because you didn't have anything else to make a board with. You're at least going to get that negate, especially with so many decks playing spells and traps. And of course, the Ice Shade Synchro monster. It's just crazy. It's a great card to have, and it's it's all about negates when it comes to water. So now the extra deck, I'm not 100% happy. I mean, the side deck, I'm not 100% happy with it. I definitely have some thoughts. I need to work on some things, but I kind of threw it together last minute before I left because I hadn't thought about what are you going to take for a side deck in case you need it. And since I hadn't played in locals in well over 2 years, I didn't know what people were playing, so I didn't know what to side against. So I brought three Nib, because you never go wrong with Nib. 3 Droll, because it's just a cracked card. It's amazing. Ghost Sister and Spooky Dogwood for time place. Simply so that I could make sure that if we went time, which I never had to do, I never even cited it in. But if there would have been that situation, then I could have. 1 Megalo, which I might end up putting back in the main deck because of the fact that it gives you a second way to get Triana out of the deck and into your hand. It's a crazy card, just crazy card. I absolutely love it. 1 Marksman. I think I've debated cutting this card just because I always played it because of the fact that it's Marksman. And the fact that some people still play cards that are face down, but I don't know. It's not really playable today in today's format. So I definitely think I'll probably end up cutting it. Let's clean this up a little bit. This Scale of Mizuchi. because it's just a great negate to play against Abyss Cetus. This is very situational. This is specifically because we used to have a lot of people who played a lot of trap heavy decks at my locals. And so that was a great card to side in to screw with them, like especially against muskets and things like that. But I'll probably end up cutting it with everything new coming on. But for now, it was still something I took just because I didn't know what I was going to get into when I got to my locals. Shang Xing, or however you say his name, great card, amazing card. It's very situational, and it's very nice to have it to switch off of for the Ice Jade monster, and if I need to, depending on my opponent. I kind of switch those back and forth depending on the situation, and I think it works out great that way. Trish, I love Trish, and I think that she'll probably end up back in the main deck. I took her out just because as I was playing with some stuff, I hate the idea of her not being in, so it'll most likely end up right back into the deck. Being able to rip that card is just so much fun. And of course, the Virtue build with Virtue Stream. I'm not sold on this, and so I put it into the side deck. I did play it. It worked well when it was in the deck, so I did side it in almost every match. It's nice. I like it, and I'm just kind of playing with it, trying to get to know it a little bit. It definitely can be a brick if you pull Virtue Stream, but not completely. Being able to play it is still a good thing. I'm not sure. We'll see how it goes. But for my first locals back, I thought it was a decent deck. I think everything went well. Definitely opened to some ideas and some things. I'm definitely probably going to end up grabbing Lancia, just because it in general is just broken. But I'm not sure where I'm going to go from here. I can't wait to see what the new cards are going to all be about. We've got new cards coming out soon that hopefully will be just amazing, and definitely need to make some changes for that. I might drop a Teus just to put one of those in, and go down to 2 instead of 1, but I'm not completely set yet. So any thoughts, please let me know, and hope you like the deck profile, and have a good one.